on many levels.
They did, and that was what was extremely surprising to me, the fact that we saw some of these teams that, I don't want to say have been sleeping in their first week, but they just didn't really step up, didn't really do as well as they could. I mean, team like Futbolist, team like K23 as well, and they had that one good game on Hospital. We were like, they got the circles in their direction. They were kind of just sitting in Hospital, so they didn't get the win and all these things. But then yesterday I was like, holy cow, these guys can actually go out and do some hard hitting there. Greg got himself, I believe, 8 kills that game. Absolutely insane performance. So if they can pull off similar numbers today, who's to say what the leaderboard is going to look like after today is over?
Well, we'll have to see, as we are going to go get into our first game overall. And we will see who might be able to stand up and who would have adjusted enough. I really am going to look towards teams like Seekorg, because we spoke about how bad their season's been so far. They ended up on the final game having not too bad of a placement in terms of like they were getting a few more kills in there. They were a bit more alive. It was only 7th though alongside it. But I want to see, what can these guys do now? Like, we want to see the Seekorg we saw from phase 1.
I have 2 teams I want to look at here as well. Zoekt Een Naam, rough day yesterday. Didn't really get things going the way that they wanted it to. They got to claim the loot spots they wanted. We know how we see it right here as well, how Zoekt Een Naam will jump out early. No matter which side the plane comes in from, they'll just jump out immediately and take a spot there. And also Besiktas. And I hate to say that we've kind of been crowning them the way that we have for them, because they have been playing extremely well on Miramar. But yesterday, it could just be the fact that they're up against teams where they don't really know what to expect and whatnot. It's hard to do prep work on teams where you haven't really seen them play a whole lot before. But here, now, I mean, again, they have 4 games to go back and look through, and I'm expecting to see them do things differently. We're already seeing right now them jumping down towards Las Leones on the eastern side, down there south. You can just barely see them on your screens. If you have the main map stream open, of course, you can go there too. It's the exclamation mark map in the chat, and you see Besiktas making their way on out east towards Impala.
Yeah, Besiktas love to just sit up in Impala. That's their spot they want to go, as this circle's going to pop. And we're going a little bit down south, but it's a more fairer circle than what some of the ones we've had over the past couple of days.
Indeed. This one is interesting, too, for multiple reasons. One of them being there's no Chumacera team. Normally, you have a team looting Chumacera. Ooh, Hanny. That's a finish off. Good night, Morpheus.
No scope
You're gonna go have a little 30-minute break in the lobby here. Just wait for the next one to start. Good tap from Riddle. Oh, also, I got to put it out there, Riddle. We were missing them yesterday.
Yeah.
Where were they? What did they show us? They had themselves some good fights, but they were always capped off with them either getting third-partied or the immediate rotation coming in afterwards. They would be taken down. I like what we see Hanny do here as well. Spin around. Look, is there anyone coming for the rescue? Can I get something else off of this? But he realizes, you know what? I'm going to spend the time looting. We're not in the circle. Got to get going anyway.
But a really nice shot. I'm just impressed that he managed to do it with no scope on there at all, right? To pull off a shot like that. Powerful losing a player early on is not what they would have wanted to see here early on. Now, Avangar, again, they're not going to be complaining about this. They're all the way up at the north, but this time they don't have Zen over towards the western side of them, which means this rotation down for them should be kind of normal in all Avangar's way of doing it.
In all fairness, one thing I'm looking to see here is when, because we know it's going to happen, but when does Avangar and Besiktas start fighting?
Oh, God, yes.
That was a thing all day yesterday.
It even happened on Erangel, though. Like, honestly, you can't make this up. Both Avangar and Besiktas, very different teams in how they approach the game, but in terms of how they rotate, they like the similar kind of spots. So on Erangel, on the first week, we saw Avangar and Besiktas go head-to-head multiple times. Avangar mainly came out on top, but Besiktas certainly made it competitive. Yeah. And then we go into yesterday, and straight away they're back together saying, oh, okay, guess we're going to meet each other and fight each other out again.
And the thing is, for both these teams, their big force, what they really strive and where they really start accumulating all those points is when they can steamroll teams.
Yes.
4 guys up, full unit, smashing through enemy teams. Whether it's on the edge or it's in the center, they can do it no matter where it is. But if they start fighting each other early all the time and they lose a player here, lose a player there, get a 1 killed on rotation, that just throws off the balance of it so much that they have to change things up. And that's, I think, one of the reasons that we didn't see Besiktas yesterday get the results that we were maybe expecting them to.
And that's one of the things you say there, right, about how they are very capable teams. But when they do meet each other, it's always they'll lose 1 player at least. So even if you win out the overall fight, you're still hindered in some way because of that battle you've had to take at this point.
It's got to feel bad for Snoopy, right? Picking out of N24, and I'm like, imagine a world where I get to keep it. Max is always over like, Snoopy, come over to me. I know you got it. You can just hear it in the distance. Was that an M24? I'm going to pick that up in just a moment.
there's a world, right, where Snoopy's just like, you know what? I'm holding on to this, and he'll take a shot. And then Max will straight away put that down. Who lands headshots? I land headshots. Give it over to me. My weapon, my time. My time for fun.
One thing here with Zoekt Een Naam jumping out new places all the time, teams can anticipate this and saying, okay, they'll be in the area of where the plane entered from, but they will never know exactly where they are now. Okay, bro, gets spotted. Oh my god. Ival? Hello?
Oh, no.
Hello?
What?
This is, I mean, I rarely ever call out people for bad shooting or anything because these are all very talented players, but Ival is a very skilled guy, and this is not shots you see him miss very often. That is, he's got to be kicking himself over that one because he knows there are more players coming in now.
And that's the point, right? It's uncharacteristic of a player like Ival. These are good players, but do you know what? Sometimes that's just the way it goes down. Quick bit of pressure.
Yep.
Maybe when the call came over, he didn't even think he was going to have to fight in this point. He's taken a lot of damage out as well. Okay, bro's tapped him down to 41 health now. He's got some meds to work with, straight away going on the first aid kit, but Zen needs to be very careful here. He still can't quite land the shots. This time it's going on to Page, and this means that Zen have got themselves in a 4v2 at least for now.
And you see Vasco is trying to come up and help them out. Other teams are starting to try and third-party the engagement. Some of the LXG players are making their way on up in that direction. I was going to say Tipo doesn't have a vehicle, but he does get one now. For Zoekt Een Naam, though, they need to just keep shooting. They cannot at any point now let them know that they aren't all there. Seems like Vasco has made his presence known. A little bit of damage coming from the side, but Ival gets knocked, and this seems to be the push call for Northern Lights team.
And this is the time that's going to work out well for him. Ival will be brought up in just any second, but he's still going to have to heal his way up. The rest of the Zen team have not come into the party just yet, and finally they will be joining up soon, but they're still quite far away. T-Bone's still in the vehicle. Perfectix is going to try and get a nade out, and this could be a devastating one if he is able to land it. More shots coming out towards them. More nades going up from both sides. Ival, is he going to stand up? No, he's going straight back down, and Page won't last either. Nades are coming in galore here, and Northern Lights are getting the job done. T-Bone's only just managed to get into this, and Vasco has no idea if he wants to really try this. It's going to be straight wipes coming in, and that's two players from Zen gone early on. Northern Lights, perfect on the timing and how they approach this, and now they'll just watch the rest of the Zen players run away.
And for Northern Lights, honestly, not only do they take out these two players, but they also get, if not the best spot in the circle right now, I mean, it's still Circle 1, so there's tons of room to maneuver around, but a really, really good and very center position down on the southern side there. So really nice engagement, nice job of them realizing the amount of players they were up against, and when it came to the push, they did it really well. Honestly, that entire push only happened because Ival missed the initial bullets. That is such a tough thing to go through, but that's what PUBG is for. We talked to T-Bone, we talked about it, how he got all the damage because he lands his shots. Ival, unfortunately there, didn't manage to do so.
Avangar on their rotations round, one of the last teams in. Powerful are also going for a bit of a later one. But Avangar are going to go all the way down south and then make their way across here. But they will have to contend with Seekorg, K23, and potentially the Zen players, depending on which way Avangar want to go here.
And one thing that's interesting when we saw the map there just before is that you have Los Leones taking up a lot of space on the eastern side, meaning that should this circle go south or north, for the teams that are sitting on their respective eastern sides, they might be forced to go all the way around west, everything considered, because nobody wants to go in through the city. Sure, it's circle 1 to 2, you can do it, but there's still that threat saying, who's hiding in the corner? Who's sitting in here just waiting for us setting up that trap? We have seen traps and ambushes tried to be utilized before, some to greater success than others. LXG, I'm looking at you. But it's a thing that everybody keeps in the back of their head. We don't know exactly what to expect from these teams, so we need to play it ever so carefully.
Now, Wildcats, these are a team that certainly want to show up a little bit more here. It has been individual players come in. Katurkan helped them get that placement into top 3 by being the sneaky snake in the background.
He got that one yesterday, true.
Making a real big problem for Avangar in that situation he dealt with, but other than that, we just don't see too much from them. They're always finding themselves getting taken out on rotations. Even now, they're very centered towards the circle. With so many teams around them, it's going to be difficult.
A lot of teams centering up on the northern side here. You see all the compound usage, and that's pretty much what it is right now. Just teams splitting out, taking pot shots over towards one another. I don't think, even if we need a home, do manage to get themselves a knock. You can see Lipson crossing on the right side of your screen right there. I don't think they would want to care to make a push on the knock. And the same thing for Force. I mean, they have a good position. Sure, they get a knock. They will know that there's some timers down, but at this point, they don't know where the next circle is going to go. There's just no point trying to go any more aggressive in this new circle, though. About to pump. Let's see where we are headed. And holy south. All the compounds that we were just talking about, well, now we've got a third of them.
Now, if Avangar reacts fast to this, going to be able to grab themselves a very good spot to fight from. Zen's close by as well, but with only 2 players left alive, it's going to be very hard for them. And Besiktas making their way, and they've gone all the way down from Impala, all the way down south already. So this was the route they were taking before this circle even popped. So they were ahead of the curve in that sense. Futbolist are going to have to go around La Bendita, and that's the smart decision here, right? Don't go through all the other teams that are sat there waiting for you also to take some spot up towards the north, because there is not a lot of room there.
It's going to take them a lot longer, though, as we talked about before. They do have Los Leones to figure. Do we care to cross through it? Do we have to go all the way around that, too? Because they won't even be down by Los Leones by the time the circle starts closing in. Of course, it is still early in the game, but it's these center spots in this area of the map where we see that circle shift to. It's in these spots of the map. If you don't have a compound, if you don't have a high ground position, you're in a valley, and you're most likely kind of visible to 3 or 4 other teams.
I'm really interested to see how NoTag are going to deal with this as well. Because they've not been... They've been a strong team on Miramar, and we've seen how good they can be on it, but what's it going to be like now when you're in a really bad spot to rotate from?
10 minutes and 9 seconds. Avangar and Besiktas are fighting.
Oh, dear. Oh, no. We're going to have to start tracking all of this movement between these two teams.
How do they always find each other? It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it does make sense to me because they execute the same types of rotations. They just do it from each their side of the map, right? It's just so interesting to see that it can happen every single game. And they've got to reach a point as well now where it's like, are you... Like, right when this knock comes in, like, are you kidding me?
Like, again? Really? Come on, guys.
What's with the magnets here between these two teams? Ultra gets himself the first knock on towards Snoopy, and Snoopy is kind of left alone down there. You can see Maxisol. Oh, Maxisol didn't get his M24. That's the issue. That's why Snoopy got knocked. Ah, that's unfortunate.
Snoopy holding on to it. Snoopy gonna be going down.
The pan. Oh. So he misses with the pan, Simsy. That's
awkward. He should probably know that these are going to be captured moments.
I mean, if you want to be him, you got to do it properly, right?
Yeah, you can't miss the pans, man. You cannot miss the pans. There's an activity. He's going to try and hold off 2 more members of Besiktas here. He's trying to do some damage off towards their bike. It's not going to work out just yet. The wheels are still there and going.
This is going to be a tough one. Besiktas, they did manage to get themselves the knock and the finish off onto 1 player. Now they'll disengage on it too. They know Avangar, even with 3 guys up, they are extremely dangerous. Other teams are starting to take their engagements too. We are making our way down towards the southern side of the map. And as I said before, compounds are scarce. And with all these guys that are fighting up north, they have a tough run, a tough kind of rotation ahead of them.
You can see the Wildcats are being pinned down behind that rock by the Insidegames players. Now, Insidegames are such a unique and interesting team in the way that they've had 3 wins and they're still not within the top 10.
Yeah, it goes to show the games they've played that hasn't been their wins. They have been caught on rough rotations. Right now, they're sitting far up on the northeastern side. They're spending a lot of time trying to deal with the Wildcats team, time that they potentially could have been spending either trying to rotate further forward or just at least have one of these guys scout further forward. But you can see all 4 of them very committed on taking down Wildcats. And honestly, Wildcats at this point are in a better position than they are.
Yeah. Yeah, in that sense, it could work out for them. It's whether they can stay alive, right? That's the thing for the Wildcats. They try to keep themselves going here, but they always find themselves pincered as we've gone a little bit further north now. So we're avoiding the water, but we're also going out and making this very hard for some teams because, like Futbolist, for example, you've just tried rotating in. Luckily, you take a turn and say, a bit closer, but still, this is further for us to go than what we wanted to.
And look at the amount of teams that try to swoop around and take the southern road into it. You got Besiktas down there, Avangar was there as well. Asperin right now is just sending it. He knows there's a lot of teams making their way around the sides, and Avangar, they're pulling up on compounds now. I think Seekorg, Seekorg is in the compound they're approaching. Powerful, making their way up towards LXG as well. A lot of fights just waiting to happen now with teams just driving everywhere they can to try and find any sort of cover for themselves. Asperin taken down by Sunsea. Well, Lipson on this side of things, I'll take that kill. I'll take that one. That's a solid point for me.
Poor Asperin up on the mountain thinking, I can try and challenge this. We can do this as a team. And now there's only 2 members of Avangar left alive.
Yeah, a lot of good spots in this circle yet to be obtained on the northern side. But that's because we talked about how all these teams tried to swoop around the south, around the western side. And for the guys that were already sitting better center than them, well, they ain't going back up north to take that spot. So all the room is up in the north, and all the confrontations will be in the south.
Even Riddle, we didn't even mention them, right? Riddle have actually had to rotate down. They were up in the north, and they've come all around the side. Besiktas, though, looking to do some more damage. They picked up their first kill onto Avangar. Let's do something towards the powerful team down here.
That is a artillery barrage if I've seen one. Very long-range throw coming in there. Nate's almost making it all the way down.
It wasn't a bad throwing arm from Simsy there.
Not at all.
Simsy gave us the huge highlights on Avangar where he was literally landing the perfect nade after nade after nade.
Yeah.
Was it 3 nades in a row?
That is things that the Besiktas guys, I mean, Tommel, Simsy, all the guys, they're very, very good when it comes to throwing these nades on the money. That one, though, a bit out of distance.
Sneaky Slayer having a look around, spotted out some of the Futbolist players. His teammates working up here as well. You can hear what's going on, so they won't be able to challenge us knowing that they would have driven away. Both these teams not inside the circle yet, LXG being the closest ones. As Zanukta finds himself going down to Avangar.
Yeah.
They have just lost everyone ever so slowly. They've got 1 player left alive now.
Max is always completely pinned in by the guys from Riddle as well. You can see it, he's all by himself in Riddle. I mean, we gotta say it here, they cannot lose a player on this. And they don't. Great job by Riddle, not losing a player. And Avangar going out in 16th place, no kills to it. That's a big 0 for them, and it shows that even some of the top teams here are indeed able to be taken down.
Sometimes that's just the way it goes. With the Wildcats, they said they need to step up. This is their time to show it. They're getting themselves the first 2 knocks onto Insidegames. Zampeak is a little bit further away here.
I like the positioning from Slippersberg as well. He's sitting above and he has the over the hilltop kind of view. But they need to take these fights down quickly. And as I say that, they do. Full-on team wipe on Insidegames. Got themselves the win yesterday. But as we said before, it's the games they don't win that drag them down. And this one is yet another 0-point game for them.
Yeah, not what they would have wanted to see there at all, but very good from the Wildcats to be able to turn things around here.
We're going back up north again, and if we look at Besiktas down south, Zoekt Een Naam holding them off for now, but that entire mountain ridge on the other side of the road they have to cross to is really open and it's really steep. So honestly, if you're on a vehicle, you kind of have to make your way all the way around, and that is a lot of rotation space that these guys won't have available.
And I'm really interested to see how this circle shifts for Forze now, who have not had to move. They hardly had to fire. They took a few shots at the very beginning of the game. But that's probably the last time anything actually went down as Bruxell, trigger finger, patience coming in. Does the damage, finds it onto Ultra, looks for more of his teammates there. Simsy trying to avoid the bullets. Bruxell, you're on point, my friend. That's how you get it done, but you need to get the heal off very quickly as Lux is coming too. He wants to try and finish you off, but luckily you've got Norkis just above. Trying to sneak up onto Simsy here to do some more. Does manage to do it, but Simsy doesn't miss shots like that.
Nope.
He's like, you gonna try creep up on me? Nah, that's what I do best, buddy.
You can't do it, Lux. You gotta get inside the circle. Once we hit phase 4, you cannot heal up in the blue, for those of you guys that don't know that. Mugging J goes down, so that's gonna be Futbolist out in 13th place. Had a really good showing on Miramar yesterday, but here in game 1, things are tough for them. And right now, with the circle having shifted north, the entire southern side of this new circle is open. And when I say open, I mean really, really open. Gamerlegion, they lost that 3v2 game yesterday in the final one. This could potentially be their chance of redemption.
No tag team starting to approach here onto Northern Lights. Good amount of nade damage coming in. But the Wildcats, they're going to pick off Perfectix from afar, which means they are really, truly pincered against multiple teams here.
The thing for Gamerlegion is they also need to really, really know where to prioritize their focus. Okay, bro, guess what? What? It's already for him around the corner.
Okay, bro, with minimal health, staying alive, hiding in a little hole, tries to get off the first aid as well. Had his first kill stolen away from him.
Tubesig was crazy confused there, it seemed like. Nate's now coming in on the other side. Okay, bro stays alive for now. Tubesig and O'Connell, 2 guys together. Don't push alone if you have your teammate nearby, and I think this is exactly how they want to push it. They know it, give it, has the position on towards him. Hold the angle and push it together. Do not lose a player in a solo situation here.
Yeah, no, they cannot afford to allow that to happen. If OK Bro can do any more damage, all it should be is a knock, because the nade comes in and will actually knock down OK Bro. They'll soon go run in and finish him off. O'Connell's going to jump the window. No problems at all. They need to keep themselves covered, because the other 2 members of the Northern Lights will be looking towards them now, as is Gamerlegion.
Yep, Gamerlegion, they're sitting center on the dot pretty much. But the thing for them being that right now they have the safety of their compound, but if they have to leave, should the circle shift to any edge, it's going to be a tough break for them. They do manage to get themselves some knocks in there. Dark secures himself 1 on towards Yort, but no finishes coming in so far. Now in all their lights again. As I say that, I mean no tag team taking a fight with LXG. LXG, as we can see here, fighting on multiple fronts.
XG trying to push him, but being out in the open, taking these fights, he manages to get one knock, but O'Connell is chiming away at him, and he will actually eventually be taken down by Macan. So this is everyone fighting in one tight space, long distance playing it up, and as you said, with it being such an open area, it just allows this to happen. It's not just a third party, it's a everyone party.
Exactly. K23 got so much help from 4 different teams in that situation right there. Really, really fortunate. Now this circle, once again, we go north. So we shifted hard south with the first one, and now 3 northern hard shifts in a row. It's crazy, and it's going to be tough. That church position that Wildcats in right now, what's on the edge of the circle in circle 2, wouldn't expect the game to actually go up and in there, but that's PUBG for you. They're throwing in surprises all the time.
Zen here. 2 players, T-Bone and Vasco, stuck together, just trying to hold off a 3-man push from Riddle. They've got themselves kind of stuck down, actually. It's such an open place they're trying to fight from. There's definitely a lot more cover here for Zen, but they've also got Besiktas now taking shots at them through the hut windows.
The thing is, neither of these guys are going to be able to go in there. Riddle does have the vehicles, but will they be able to get anywhere without being taken down? Magan takes down one out of the vehicle. Vasco now trying to tap away over towards Simpson. Makes his way up the hill. He's alive now somehow. I don't know how in the universe he's still riding that bike. But indeed, he is. T-Bone gets knocked, though, in the meantime.
Vasco has to land some of these shots. The car creeping forward to him. That's such a distraction as well, right? As soon as you poke out, you kind of have to ignore it as it is.
Now the nade is coming in. That is going to be Zoekt Een Naam out in just about a second. Bada bing, bada boom. Out goes Zoekt Een Naam. 10th place for them and 0 kills. So yet another top team to go down early without any points. And all their lights now. 4th kill coming in for them as they're trying to stay put. They got this one little rock to work with and multiple teams around them.
K23 Greg is ready to push over the hill as Just White's taking some extra shots towards them. It's not going to be easy because no tag team's still getting involved. This cluster down towards the southeast is so difficult to try and work from here.
And then you have teams like Besiktas who manage to make their way out on the west. Now Tommel does go down. Lux is still alive above the hillside though. Trying to stay put there. There are some Force players up there with him, but Salters have already crashed center in towards the shack. You can see Wildcats. They're trying to push out and get some more info. They've set ANNL out to get the info there, and they have the high ground position team in place. I like this positioning from them.
K23 though will find themselves going out in 9th place here. Less than ideal for these guys who had the big win come in yesterday to kick things off with. But still, getting up to top 9 is not too bad. Didn't see mad amounts of kills coming out from yet.
That's a dead guy.
And I was like, is that someone? Maybe? Or he just likes really just putting the punish on the dead body.
Oh
just
yeah,
like, feel the
instead
pain.
of panning people, just shoot the corpses a couple of times. No tag team, 3 guys alive. You need to land some crazy good shots if you want to have any chance of getting out of here alive. Lux is trying to stay put as well on the northwestern side. We got the deep prone in on a vehicle. There's just not a whole lot of room for these guys to move around in.
This new circle, Besiktas will go down in 8th, but Besiktas, they were fighting from, what, the first teams?
Yeah, and look at Riddle as well. Only 3 guys left. Only, I want to say. I mean, there are still 3 guys left to stay with the position they were given, and they already got themselves 10 kills on this one. We missed out on Riddle yesterday. Now they're getting things going. That's going to make it 11 kills for Riddle already. For Gamerlegion, though, they're sitting well in the compound, but if this circle shifts away from them, they're in a valley, and all the remaining teams, other than Riddle, will have the high ground on towards them. So maybe now, while everyone else is fighting, is the time to make that move out for at least 1 or 2 players to secure some sort of terrain outside of this compound. Oh, that nade.
Yeah, about to say 5 kills already. Is the deep going to be going down? No, he only takes 20 bits of damage there, so he's going to hold on to himself.
But that's one of those, I think they know where I am now. Kind of nades, right? When you just see it flying towards your face.
But the moment he moves, there'll be another team shooting at him, so he really has nowhere to go. He's got to hope that Gamerlegion maybe try and keep No Tag at bay.
See Clip. We've seen him so many times before getting these knocks. Now he gets himself 1, but Henny goes down in return. Gets finished off 2. They got themselves 1 knock on towards Gamerlegion. Gamerlegion, 4 guys alive, center position. They have such a good chance of getting a good game off here. Top 6 guaranteed already as well.
By the way, that nade went out right, and No Tag team obviously didn't know that it did some damage. But the deep may just be able to stick on the edge here and then go around it because they're moving forward.
It's kind of inside the circle, and right now the focus for Gamerlegion is on the other side, so they probably wouldn't be looking up towards him. And I believe it does have a bit of a plateau there. The only thing is Force might be able to see him far from the western side, but of course they have other things to worry about too. Clip taken down now as well. Salters doing all the damage he can with the Mini 14. And honestly, this is what they got to do. They're inside the circle, but they've got to keep all these other guys away.
The Wildcats, though, we didn't mention them again, but they're up at 6th place at least, and they've got 4 players still alive.
Got a lot of kills too.
And that's the way to get it done. This is the way to turn your game around. Maybe they're trying to put off the Futbolist of yesterday, but today for them, it's exactly what they'd need to happen. It's both Riddle and Northern Lights, just with 1 player left alive now. Zinzan, the moment he pokes out to go anywhere, Fex is ready. He's got his aim directly placed.
He's getting flashbanged now as well. Everything is being thrown his direction, but in the end, the circle will be the killer of him. Now, new circles moments away from popping. As I said before, if it goes anywhere but the compound that Gamerlegion is sitting in, they're going to have a hard time rotating up. We'll see, though, of course, everyone else will fighting on the edges, but you can see the perfectly shot right there, the overview.
Wow.
And they're going to have a hard time.
Nice stuff there for Katurkan, playing the long-range game, and now they've got to try and find Give It. A lot of fire coming in towards him. No tag team go down, and more frags coming out here for the Wildcats.
Wildcats need to position themselves well now, no matter where that circle goes. It does include the compound, at least for a little while longer, but look at the amount of space they have now. If they get out the deep somehow on this side, they have the entire eastern side of the circle to work around.
The Forze players that remain gonna have to have a rough ride to try and find their way back into this. The res comes in, the heal's gonna come in, and then they're gonna have to get their skates on. The deep needs to move as well. He's still just waiting. He's popping his energy drink, but he is the solo man for his team, thinking, is it safe now? Can I do this? Is no one gonna shoot my head off the moment I step out? Well, who is also gonna lose their head is gonna be Slippy Zerg, so Higgy's able to deliver it today. We've got 8 kills for Forze, and the majority of them with both the players that do remain.
They are getting the rest back on up, but this, I'm just staring on the map stream right now down towards Gamerlegion. When do they make that move? They cannot just sit in here. They cannot bank everything on getting a hard shift towards them with the next circle. They need to make a move at some point from this compound.
And I also think that they need to make sure they make their presence known a little bit more, right? Because everyone knows where they are here, but they need to maybe take some distraction fire off to some of these other teams to help them, the rest of them, get out.
The thing is, right now, Wildcats and Forze are fighting on the top, and they are purposely positioning themselves so the guys in the compound, you can see right there on the left side, they can't see them. But now, Iggy, I don't know where you're driving, but outside you'll be blown up in a matter of now.
Oh no, the deep goes down. Northern Lights are going to be eliminated, and Higgy, well, he goes in for the suicide play with the car, and it definitely doesn't work out for him. His teammate is just about standing, and he will fall next. Slippy Zerg hitting the headshots, and now we're into a true 1v1 in terms of the teams. Got 4 players left alive on both sides. Gamerlegion have the compound to work from, but Wildcats have been hitting those shots.
I am very surprised to see that nobody from Gamerlegion has made an exit from the compound yet. But then again, look at the terrain Bjorn has in front of him. He knows for a fact there's not a whole lot to go with, but if this circle goes anywhere outside of the compound now, the next one, the final one, it's going to be a tough run out for them. But then, of course, I mean, Gamerlegion, they are a talented bunch. You see Bjorn, he wants to get out there. There's just no safety in him trying to make that run on out.
Yeah, you've got the perfect place to fire from with all the Wildcats. If that circle even goes close to center towards
just anywhere but the compound.
Yeah, it's like they can just completely overlook everything Gamerlegion try to do here.
One is going to pop, 2, and a 1, and a where are we going? This is what they would not have wanted. They can shift all their players out on the right side now on the eastern side of the circle, and they should be able to. Of course, it does require them to land the shots they have to land, but this should allow for them to contain Gamerlegion, at least get some knocks on it. So should they get into a close quarter fight, they'll be able to win it. But now they cannot get knocked. If one knock comes in, Gamerlegion has to send it immediately.
Yeah, Fex. And he's the one who's trying to get it done here. Can't quite land the headshots there. ANL is just going to be poking his head up. Playing a bit of peekaboo with him.
He does have a little free helmet as well. I like that. That's the guy who's quick peeking all the time. Because if he does get headshot, you can see the way that he's peeking. If he does get headshot, then he can still stay alive. But you see McCann making the run on forward. He's going to jump down towards the shack. And the knock does come in. Katurkan goes down. This has to be the move for them, the time for them to move forward.
And they have to be fast on it if they do want to do it. You're completely right, Toby, but it's taking a little bit of time for them to get going. Bjorn's working his way all the way around the other side of the building. I think Gamerlegion was just a little bit too split up and didn't expect that to come into play. So we're going to go back to the stalemate situation here. And still the positions overall do benefit the Wildcats.
And if you're Gamerlegion right now, they had that 3v2 yesterday. They didn't end up getting the win on it. And that's got to be on their minds right now. We have to be able to close out these types of games.
Yeah.
It's a tough game for them for sure. Nothing is guaranteed in this at all. We've seen Wildcat land some crazy shots today. But 4v4, and they have to make a run out in the open now. This is going to be tough for them, that's for sure.
And the Wildcats have had so many kills already.
Yep, I think they're sitting at 10 right now. So no matter what happens, they will be the ones to take the win and the overall points in the group. Vex is
Took
trying
some
to
circle damage, but he gets eliminated. Slippy ready for it. Damage being done. Honor now wants some of it as well. They do reply back, but the Wildcats are ripping them apart. Hamster's just running out into the smoke. He's going to get himself taken down as well, and this is not looking good. Only Macan is sat there in the hut on his own. They know exactly where he is. All of his teammates are going to go down. The Wildcats have got full control now.
There's no way in the universe that Macan is allowed to win this one. 1v3, they know exactly where he is. Just don't keep getting knocked. That's that would be the tough break. Because even, I mean, honestly, if he gets one more, that's 2 people knocked, or 2 people knocked, and it's a 2v1. Doable, tricky, but doable. 1v3 now.
I love this from ANL. Sees the smokes are still down, can try and push into this. Only 2 out in the open, goes in for the spray fire onto him.
He's
not been done yet. Gonna Molotov out the window, but that's not gonna help him too much. More smokes going down as well. Maybe in front of him would have been a better idea here. As ANL still trying to push out. We're trying to see what Makadar can do here. He's poking onto the other players, but they're ready for him. Honor gets the final kill. 14 kills and a win there for the Wildcats. We said they needed to turn things around, Toby, and they certainly did in our opening game here.
And it just goes to show this group, you can never take anyone for granted.